and comparing it to where we are today and things like that. And last year I was getting views on posts of 30, 40, 50,000, thinking, wow, that's amazing. Oh, look at all these comments. Absolutely brilliant. We know because the platform has got bigger that they have gone down, but mine have gone down seriously now. And what I consider is a wow one is sort of maybe 6,000 views, but it's the quality of the views, the people that are looking at it. And I had loads and loads and loads of inquiries at the beginning of last year, but only 3 of them really became meaningful things. And a lot of them were just with the wrong sort of people that were never going to pay for my services. So it's better to have less views, but have quality comments and DMs and stuff and business coming through, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. Oh, we've gone live.
Oh, shucks. We are live.
Chatting away. Sorry about that, people.
No problem. So, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you.
Morning.
And we are back at it. This is Real Value at No Cost LinkedIn Tips with none other than Stuart Hackett. Today we have 3 bullet point topics that I want to delve into. The first one immediately. Back to basics for 2023. Update your profile to reflect your 2023 goals. At the end of the day, your profile should be updated at least 3 months to what? Every 3 months?
Yeah, at least more really. Little and often is the thing. We were just chatting then about last week, the first 4 days, I've just been reviewing my statistics, where I've been, what's happened, the results that have come through. And I'm happy with the sort of business that I'm doing on the back of LinkedIn. Do I want to change it? Yes, I want to change it, twist it around, and what have you. And so part of that is I'm thinking, right, okay, where do I want to go for 2023? What sort of LinkedIn business do I want? As I said, we had so many inquiries and did so many profiles and headlines and all this sort of stuff, but they didn't really go. It was just sort of one-trick ponies, just low cost, and that's not really what I want to spend my time doing. So I have decided what I need to change in order to achieve what I want to achieve by this time next year. And I urge everybody to do that. So that's great. So you've now decided that this is where you want to get to. This is how you're going to get there. Now, that's great for entrepreneurs like myself or run my own businesses, but other people will get them given to them. Right, this is where the company is going. You do this role, therefore get on, blah, blah, blah. And they're constantly dictated to, and fill in this report, fill in that report, and all that sort of thing. That's fine. That's the way big corporations work. But you then have to step away from that and think, okay, that's what I've got to do for my business, and that's what pays my salary. But what I can do is build my personal brand up. And if I build my personal brand up, it makes me more creditable within my current business. But then also, should I decide I want a bigger, better job or go to a different industry or whatever it might be, you've built your personal brand up. So people automatically think, Antonio, he's a good guy. He's really good at sales. Yeah. I've seen a lot of him on LinkedIn. So although you're achieving your goals within your business, you have to have your own personal goals. And the best place to do that, rather than with recruitment agencies and sending off loads of resumes, or CVs as we call them in the UK, it's all about building your personal brand. The bit behind, oh, I've got a degree. Oh, I've been working for 10 years and this, 20 years, 5 years and that, whatever it might be. It's you, what sets you apart. And that's what LinkedIn is about. And you now need to look at your profile and update it to reflect that, to be fair. I'm going to go into a bit more detail in a minute, but that's sort of the overall summary. And there's no better place to start than right now and at the beginning of a year.
Yeah, for sure, because sending out a hard copy resume, I would say, should be a thing of the past, because a lot of persons right now who on LinkedIn, they may not be producing enough content, and your LinkedIn account should be your digital resume, because it tells much more about you than a hard copy resume. Having a degree, having a master's, just know that will be obsolete. It may be already obsolete in certain countries, because at the end of the day, when an employer hire you for a job and you cannot function in the best capacity, what will happen? You will be fired. Simple as it is. Harsh reality. So what people have to understand now that it's all about building your personal brand, as you said, and putting yourself out there, updating your knowledge base on a daily basis,
Yeah.
adapting to the changing environment. Because if we check back 50 years ago to now, the advancement in technology, it's really thought-provoking, and it's going to get even more advanced. So if you are not adapting to the changing environment, then after your accolades behind your name would not make any sense. And that's the reality that we are being faced. And at the end of the day, to me, once you provide consistent value and able to help a company or companies excel, receive a return on investment, that is what they cares about. I always say the managing director, they care about figures, and the HR, they care about your resume. So it's two different personas, two different objectives that they want to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just thinking there, just imagine they've just set up their LinkedIn profile now and they're actually watching this and they think, oh my gosh, look at all these things you've got to do. And if you think back when you first started on LinkedIn, if you want to set your profile up, which you have to have, because people will, if you're going for another job, they will check you out. You know, we know if you Google it, your LinkedIn profile will come up as you. Yeah, probably Facebook as well, but you know that's more social, if you like, really in most people's fields. But LinkedIn is the key thing. Now that will take, if I did someone from scratch, I mean, I'd probably take a week to do it for them. To add all the features, and we had over 100 last year new features added on. Not all of them are relevant because they're sort of analytical things behind the scenes and doing other things that a lot of people won't get involved with. But the overall personal brand showcase, LinkedIn it's very complicated now, and it'll get more complicated. So you really need to crack onto it now. I mean, imagine if you just started, you've got to get first of all to 500 just to get to All-Star. And 500 connections is quite difficult.
I would like to interject for 1 minute to it. LinkedIn getting more complicated is better for you and myself, because the more complicated it gets is the more clients that we will have, because then after we will have to provide that bespoke service to them to meet their specific needs. So it's something really awesome. People have to understand that when you focus on problems, you will obtain problems, but when you focus on possibilities, you will obtain opportunities. So it's something really thought-provoking, I would say. And just want to get into the second bullet point topic, which is what to update: banner, profile, picture, headline, video, name pronunciation, or headlines.
So basically we're saying we're working on the basis that you actually have a profile of some form now, but you've now decided this is where I want to go with my personal brand to elevate my current employment position. So what you've got to make sure is all those things. So your banner, the first thing you see, your photograph, it needs to be professional. Your picture, your video, your name pronunciation, and your headline, they all have to be aligned with where you are going. Not where you are now, not where you've been. That's all history. It's about where you want to go, and you have to project that. Because every time you comment or post, first of all, but then comment on other people's posts, you come up. Your photograph comes up.
Yes.
Your headline comes up, and it's only the first couple of lines that people really look at, and then they scroll down. So they've got to be aligned. It takes time, and at the end of the day, it's very complicated. And yes, you can persevere, as we have done over many years, to build up our knowledge and build up our profiles. Yeah, if you've got time, you can do it. But if you don't have time, which a lot of business people don't have time because they're concentrating on their business, they employ Antonia, they employ Stuart, they employ one of the many, many other coaches on here. It's the one that aligns best with them. That's what it's all about, because people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust and get on with.
And the headline, right, on LinkedIn is similar on Instagram as your bio, because on Instagram, the bio is basically what you are telling people, that what you do in the most simplest way that they could understand. A simple headline is, I help you obtain customers that will be in your niche market. that's simple, straightforward, understandable, to the point. You don't want to put a headline that is not something that someone will understand. It's all about simple terms, straight to the point, and that tends to drive more traffic than anything. So it helps the search engine optimization. So persons will know, and LinkedIn themselves will know, all right, I could send your information to other persons who may want this particular expertise. So it's really something that is very interesting. And I think that a lot of persons, they have in the headline um, MBA, graduate, a lot of foolish stuff that do not make any sense. No one
It
cares
does
if
nothing.
you have a
Yeah.
degree, no one cares if you have a master's, because at the end of the day, if it is that you cannot give me results, I do not want to work with you. Simple as that.
No, exactly. I was just pulling mine up to thinking, what does mine
Mhm.
say? I simplify LinkedIn for you.
Yeah,
Simple. That's what I do.
simple.
I understand it inside out. I make it easy for you. I talk in layman's terms, even though I know all the jargony stuff, just so stuff that you understand and can implement. It's as simple as
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, as simple as possible it should be. And it what is very strange is that a lot of persons think that LinkedIn is just that career platform, and they don't realize that it morphed into so much other things. You could be generating a lot of leads for any particular sector in business. You
Mm.
could be networking with the right persons, whatever field that you may be in. You could generate sales, you could be training individuals. It's just that all in one platform that anyone in the corporate space wants to have. No other platform, as I keep on mentioning, that you could go and research who is the CEO of this company, who is the
Mm.
MD of that company, and that's what makes it awesome, because you are getting to obtain that virtual touch with someone, and eventually that could develop into a relationship where it's more physical. And that's the great thing about LinkedIn. It's all about that networking and professional relationship building.
Absolutely. I mean, every major organization has a presence on here. Their
Hmm.
active staff, so that could be their front-facing social media type marketing salespeople, they have a presence on here. So if you want new customers, you can quite easily find them on here. It can be
Hmm.
a bit daunting, but there are easy ways to do it, and that's what Tony and I
Yeah.
provide. So we think it's straightforward, but it is, because everything's on here. It's unbelievable. I used to sit in a library, oh my gosh, too many years ago, 25 years ago, and go through directories of large companies and try and find out what
Whoa.
their spend on marketing was and all this sort of stuff. Now,
Hmm.
LinkedIn, twiddle, twiddle, well, it's all there in front of you, sitting at home, sitting in your office, sitting anywhere.
Hmm.
It's unbelievable what you can do. I mean, just dragging on to our third point. So, we've done the
Yeah.
bit where we've aligned everything with our new goals and where we want to go and our personal brand and everything's that's brilliant. So you've now hooked the person, they've come in, they've delved a little bit deeper. Now you've got to make sure that everything else is aligned. So that is your experience section, your skills, and your recommendations. So
Hmm.
experience, yeah, okay, great. I'm head of sales for, or I'm a sales representative for, or I'm a carpet cleaner, whatever it is.
Hmm.
That's great, but it's what makes you a particularly good carpet cleaner, what makes you stand out. But
Hmm.
there's things that you do, so you've got to make sure that's in there. And you go right down to your skills and recommendations. Your skills. People move markets. I started off in FMCG, fast moving consumer goods sales,
Yeah.
selling Pepsi and things into big supermarkets. I then went into the service industry. And I've then gone through another one. Then I've now come into digital marketing. So if I've still got stuff on my skills as I don't know, FMCG sales expert,
Hmm.
it's got nothing to do with digital marketing and LinkedIn. So you can quite easily reorganize them. So you reorganize them to have, and it's those top three that are really critical. Because again, it's like at the headline, they just see
Hmm.
the top three when they've scrolled down. Occasionally people do look for others, but that's the top three. So just make sure everything is aligned. And this is a great time to, let's call it spring clean, but it's not, it's the beginning of the year, but effectively spring clean, update, improve, embellish your personal brand. No better
Hmm.
time than now. And do it
Yes,
bit by
because
bit as well. Don't go mad. and you blow your brain on LinkedIn by taking 2 days out and just doing LinkedIn. Oh, I can't deal with that stuff anymore. Oh my God. Because you mess the algorithm up.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, January month is like a downtime month where a lot of companies don't generate as much revenue as they would like, right? And it's all according to the industry, but majority that is. And this is the time where you want to have your sales kickoff training, your strategies in place. Who exactly are you targeting in Q1? And all these different things you want to put in your crystal ball clear for the objectives for quarter 1. So you're taking it by different quarters. There are 4 quarters in the year. So you are taking it by quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and everything is structure. Structure creates creativity. It brings that. So if it is that you have that structure in place and you have that training and development for your staff, then after everything falls in its essence. And a lot of companies, I find, Stuart, they are not implementing the training and development consistently for staff, because at the end of the day, once you are seeing a return on investment, that is what you are most concerned about. Don't study that, all right, throughout the year we have training, we shouldn't do that. But if you are seeing that return on investment, so be it. So it's simple things that some companies take for granted, but if it is that they implement it, you will see that increase going forward, and you could actually track it by using data analytics to know Q1, Q2, in the ROI, how that's going with the training and development aspect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, what I've done, I've part of my strategy last week was to work on what I want to say on these lives. So I've actually done the next pretty much 2 months worth of topics that we're going to do, all aligned with that. And one of them is about analytics. It's about knowing what you're doing. And there's various ways to do it, and I'll come into that in more detail later. But, if you don't keep plodding on doing the same thing, because if you keep on plodding on doing the same thing, you'll get the same results. Now, that might be awesome, but eventually it will drop off because you're just doing the same thing and people get bored.
Yes.
You have to move forward. You have to evolve. So, you've got an opportunity now to really make things happen for yourselves. The pandemic is well behind us. We've had oil crisis. We've had all sorts of things going on, but things are settling down. I know in England we have all sorts of strikes because people want more money and stuff, but that's all fine. It'll all come through, but it's for you. What do you want? If you don't want to be working in the rail industry anymore or the post office anymore, because you can see things are moving more towards Amazon, whatever it is, act now. Get out. Be the first to jump, because you're taking your experience from that sector to another sector. If you do it after everybody else, well, they're ahead of you, aren't they?
Yeah, and I can understand why in England there is a lot of strikes going on, because people want more money. Cost of goods and everything that you think about is going up. And then we know that the rent is very high, and these things, mortgage is very high. So it's all about fairness. Like, when you think about the world, what it is you give is what it is that you receive. So if it is that you're giving high prices to the people who supposed to be doing the work for you, what do you think you receive? That they will just be a slave to you? No, they want more. So you have to give the people more. So at the end of the day is law of attraction. What you give is what you receive.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, I know some people are really, 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 really struggling, but that happens in every industry and in every country. But those people that are really struggling, again, think, well, what am I doing? How can I earn more? Well, I can just work more hours. Well, no, maybe you've got to take your skills somewhere else. There's all sorts, there's possibilities. But generally, when you're right in it, you cannot see it, because you're just fighting. So you need to reach out.
And
You've got to reach out to people.
The most powerful thing that we have is our mind. And what differentiates a true leader is their mindset and the right attitude. It's nothing else, because, when we think about the lion and the eagle, why the lion is the king of the jungle, and elephants and other big animals, they do not be afraid of that. When they see that, they watch that as food. It's because it's in their mind. So once it is, we as individuals have within our minds that we could achieve more, we will take that leap of faith.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Positive mindset, association as well. So if you associate
correct.
yourself with positive, successful people, it is a fact you will then become more
Yes,
positive and you will become more successful. They say if you hang out with 3 or 4, let's just say millionaires, you will be the next millionaire. Oh,
for sure.
bullshit.
Yeah,
No, that won't happen. Yes, it can happen, because
it
if you
can. Yeah,
associate with people that are scheming and let's just say stealing
you will
and
become
stuff
a
like that,
student as well. Yeah.
you'll be down there. So
Mhm.
go with the positive people, successful people, and you will become
Mhm.
successful. Never
They
despair.
always say,
There's always a
look
way.
at someone who that you want to achieve what they have and hang out with them so that you now could understand what they are doing, what they sacrifice to reach there. And that's the best approach that you should take in order to become successful. So
Mm.
it's not that hard, but as Jim Rohn said, and this is something that everyone knows, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And ask yourself this question, which is very thought provoking. Am I speaking to during the day? What are the conversations am I having? Am I gossiping? Am I having conversations that could generate more revenue that can help me professionally develop myself? These are the questions that you want to ask yourself. So, in closing, that is my last statement. And Stuart, anything that you would like to leave with the audience today?
Just be positive, be happy, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. If you're struggling in any way to try and find your way through the mire, we'll just send us a direct message or whatever, and we can have a chat. It's not a problem.
Awesome. It's all in the mind. All in the mind. Have a great one, everyone. Thank you,
Yeah,
Stuart.
absolutely. Take
This
care, Pete.